Welcome, Bills Mafia, to Bills or Bust, the podcast dedicated to all things Buffalo Bills. I'm Tom Murphy. Join in as we talk about the Buffalo Bills, of course, and also the other 31 teams in the league that will watch us win the Super Bowl or bust. Hey. Welcome, Bills Mafia, to the Bills or Bust podcast. I'm Tom Murphy, and what a wild weekend in sports. Earlier today, Argentina won the World Cup, but as we all know, no one, including Argentina, circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Now for your Buffalo Bills recap. Bills certainly made it interesting at Highmark Stadium versus the Miami Dolphins, winning 32-29 on a Tyler Bass field goal with time expiring. The snow everyone was talking about went away just before game time and came back with a vengeance in the fourth quarter, just in time to cap a mini comeback in a game we thought we had under control at halftime, before letting our despised rivals go ahead in the second half. But that only set the stage for an instant classic, moving them to 11-3 and giving the Bills their fourth straight playoff berth. So, Bills Mafia, what do we think about last night's game? You know, I always say a win's a win, even if it is a little uglier than we had hoped. I do miss the days of last year and even earlier this year when we won comfortably by 30 points, you know. It's like I have enough stress in my life than having to deal with a Saturday night that gives me like 4 coronary bypasses. Right before halftime, Josh Allen, he throws his third touchdown pass. We must mention 3 players who received their first touchdowns as members of the Buffalo Bills. It would be Quinton Morris, Nyheim Hines, and James Cook. Congratulations to all 3 of them. Going into halftime, just thought like it was a little less stressed, thinking, oh, the momentum, we're going to be receiving second half. Like, we got this. And what do we do? Pretty much 3 and out on the first drive. In the second half, and it's where things started to get Billsy. We let Miami just crawl right back into it. Raheem Mostert just absolutely ran all over us. The run D seems to be very selective with how they're going to perform each week. We go up against a star like Derrick Henry and just absolutely stop him, think, oh, we got the best run D in the league. Then every now and then we just let a Aaron Jones or Raheem Mostert just run all over us and can't figure that out. Little tackling optional problems on D last night. Milano is just such a tackling force, and now he's just missing tackles all the time. It's a bit concerning, but hopefully he can get that together. He's been having a Pro Bowl type season pretty much all year. But, it wasn't all bad on defense. Definitely gave up more points than we had hoped. Got some big performances, especially from Shaq Lawson, our former first-round pick from 2016, who left a few years ago and is coming back where he belongs. Always liked Shaq Lawson. It just seems that he mainly is pretty much, if he were a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick, we would have found him more valuable. But our expectations are always higher for a first-round pick who definitely not accused of lack of effort. Had a beautiful sack in the first half and even a batted ball later on. It's good to see, someone like Shaq Morris contributing in this way with Von Miller out for the season. Tre'Davious White, it's so good to have him back. But, had a couple off plays, but man, he was on a lot of these receivers, just like gangbusters. So it's very good to see him back. And just always such a clutch player. I think he's one of the most, I've been a fan, since my early childhood, going on, close to 4 decades now, not to age myself here. But I'd almost say he's about the second most clutch defensive player we've had in our history. You could probably guess who the first one is without me saying any names. Bruce Smith. And, back to the bad, while this wasn't a defensive play, more or less, and I don't want to speak too negatively about Bills players. I hope to have some of them on the show someday. But pretty much, I've had it with Cam Lewis this season. I mean, he's kind of a great story, coming from University of Buffalo and all. It's good to have those players on the teams, the local guys. But absolutely one of the most unforgiving penalties that you can have running into the kicker, especially when it's at midfield. It's just not necessary. And it wasn't even like it was a close call. It was very avoidable. And you know, just to kind of like double that up with the coverage that he had on Jefferson, uh, on the coverage he had on Justin Jefferson in our game about a month and a half ago against the Vikings. It's everybody wants to credit Justin Jefferson with that amazing catch, but Cam Lewis, I know he wants to make have some personal glory, but he has to know on a 4th and 18, all you have to do is just bat that ball down. Just bat it to the ground. Don't try and get the stat, but 100% going for that interception. And he was just on that play alone, he was on thin ice with me. I'm very forgiving of the, very, very low depth players, but when you just make egregious mistakes like these, I just I think it's time to move on. You become a liability, and McDermott seems to be a little bit forgiving, but I would not be shocked at all if we see Cam Lewis just cut and move on, and we'll wish him well. But yeah, give him the opportunity to almost lose a game for another team, but hopefully he can make some money doing that. And moving on to the offense. Got to say, it was absolutely one of their more, prolific performances since the bye. I've definitely been noticing a little sluggishness in the offense. Ever since the bye week, where things have started to look a little less like the Bills that we've come to love the past few years. But on some plays, especially early on, it was just that offense was clicking. The Diggs, Allen to Diggs was just money. Just connecting with Knox. Knox had probably his biggest game of the year, which is always good to see, especially with the hard year he's had. And Knox is the recipient of Josh Allen's 4th touchdown pass of the night. But of course, the other 3 were celebrating their first touchdown reception as Bills, where Knox has quite a few under his belt. But congratulations again. It's so great to see him really shine in a game like last night. Couple of drops, but definitely forgiven on the overall spectrum. Allen looked like old Allen with a 300-yard game, just barely squeaking over the 300-yard mark. But that's always fun. Definitely has his luck against definitely has his success against the Dolphins. 0 interceptions again. 4 touchdowns, I think, bringing his total numbers to like 29 touchdowns and 6 interceptions all time against the Dolphins. So yes, he is fair to say that he is the Miami Dolphins daddy. We will definitely we'll definitely take that title for now, and it's good. After the loss to them in week 3, finally getting that momentum back against them. We might be seeing them in the playoffs. Dolphins have lost 3 in a row. It's, but their schedule is rather favorable. It seems like they probably will slip in. I don't have really fear playing Miami in the playoffs, but I just don't want them to have as much success, because they'd have to play us in a later round. And there's just, send them packing. I'm just done with them. Elsewhere with last night, the running game, aside from Josh, was pretty much non-existent. I love Singletary. He's such a dog. He made a few big runs, but for the most part was held under control. Miami's run defense been pretty stout this year. And a lot of controversy on that, that last run by Singletary. I'm kind of curious what others really think about it. Seems to be a mixed bag. Instead of going for the touchdown, just, sliding to let the time expire and just go for the chip-chop field goal. And he didn't even get the first down, but that really, people are saying, is like, at least get the first down. That really didn't matter at that point. Miami was going to run out of their timeouts. I kind of felt that he just panicked. He didn't want to get into the end zone. He just wanted to get down as soon as he could, just so they could run the timeout. And it's he's definitely forgiven, regardless of which way you think about it, because we did end up winning. And obviously, my new favorite Bill, James Cook, with a big game, just minimal runs, but really made the most of them. Had a huge, had that huge run after the almost disastrous fumble by Josh late in the game. 16 yards, but it really built some momentum for us. And such a great catch. So many legendary plays of last night. The catch he made right at the end of halftime, with time expiring, was just absolutely, that was the loudest I cheered all night, even more than the field goal, if you can believe that. It's just, I've been a Bills fan for so long, and it just seems, got this saying, it's like, that was so Billsy. And usually something so Billsy is, letting time run out before we even have a chance to kick a field goal, and then throwing, throwing it away, or even worse, an interception. So as soon as that clock was going down, I'm like, yep, nope, it's not happening. And Allen did it again. I think Allen's just making this team a lot different than, the luck that I've been used to. And I hope that continues. And once again, just very impressed with James Cook so far. Definitely, every time he touches the ball, I'm still thinking to that week 1 fumble he had against the Rams, that one carry that he had. But that's pretty much been, knock on wood, that's been his only mishap truly this season. And I'm just very excited about Cook going forward. I think he's going to be a big contributor, and even more so than he is, and have a lot to look forward to with him. And then lastly, with the performance last night, Tyler Bass, who's been known to kick some real legends, 50-yard plus, probably not a bigger field goal than in his career than last night, and just a 25-yard chip shot was so great. A very iconic moment of all the Bills players wiping away the snow. So he had a clean running lane. He seemed to be completely unfazed by the conditions, but it's just good to see the team rally around and clear that snow out for him. I think that's just going to be an image that sticks around with us, for years to come. And on the whole, it's the Bills just they don't make it easy, but they certainly made it fun. And yeah, just can't take that. I was just like, like by the end of it, I had to call my buddy in Colorado, who's actually a Chiefs fan. My knees were just literally shaking at the end of that game. It's, sometimes as much as I love the Bills, I do wonder why I put myself through this almost every week. It just takes so much out of me, but it's always worth it, when they do win. And I could just imagine how horrible today would be if they didn't come on the winning end last night, just how horrible it would have been to get swept by the Dolphins. But that's neither here nor there. So going forward, the Bills are still the 1 seed in the AFC, just by a hair, just by the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, who Chiefs won today in overtime versus the Texans, a team they have zero business going to overtime with, worst record in football. But who are we to talk? We've definitely had our mishaps. We can definitely talk about the certain game we lost last year, 9-6. Don't even need to mention who that was. You all know. So Chiefs have a significantly easier schedule than us over the next 3 games, but we control our own destiny. The tiebreaker definitely helps with that. And, we're playing for that 1 seed. Not only is that first week bye, we also get home field advantage. We'd just love to have a, home AFC championship game in Highmark Stadium. We'd have to get through a couple teams first, but, clinching that playoff berth last night, just, fantastic. We're kind of spoiled now. We went 17 years from 2000 to 2017, pretty much, without making the playoffs. And, since then we've made it now 5 out of 6 years. But it is just great. Like, I remember back in those days, I was just saying, it's like, I would just kill for one more playoff appearance, just like one more Super Bowl. And, now that that's been happening, it's just like, Super Bowl or bust. That's, that's my feelings now. It's, we have the team to do it. we end up getting the 2 seed, it would mean that we have lost a game in the next 3, but we can't think of that right now. Just got to take it one game at a time. We have tiebreakers almost over some of the other big teams in the AFC, Tennessee, Baltimore. So that's a huge advantage. We play Cincinnati in 2 weeks, but before then we have to get past the very pesky Chicago Bears. I mean, the Bears, despite having the reverse record of us, 3-11, it seems like lately they just come out to play every week. Justin Fields is starting to look like a legitimate star. Very curious how we would match up against him. So we will definitely see in 6 more days on Christmas Eve. I feel we, tend to do all right against the running quarterbacks. I mean, knock on wood. But we just have no idea with him. We can give up some of the big runs, but even with Lamar, it seems like we do contain him at least a little bit. It's not where we just completely shut him down, but only time will tell. It's our first game against Justin Fields next week, 1 p.m. at Soldier Field, game we will probably be heavily favored in, but as you know, we just sometimes never know with the Bills. We could beat this team by 30. We could possibly be a little too close for comfort. I don't want to say I don't see us losing this game, but this just seems like a game we should absolutely win, and easily. Bears really don't have much on offense aside from Justin Fields. And David Montgomery's kind of like a run-of-the-mill running back. I mean, the receiver situation in Chicago just seems disastrous. So decent defense, but I'd be beyond disappointed if we lost to them. I'm disappointed if we lose to anybody, but it would definitely be a knife to the stomach if we lost to this team, just in the situation we are in now and how hard we fought last night especially. But regardless, it's going to be a fun time. Be putting the family festivities on hold just for those 3 hours because got to watch my Bills. Even if I'm in Mystic, Connecticut, I'm going to find a way. Yeah, so I'm getting the 2-minute warning from my producers over here, so we're going to wrap this up here soon, but not before I give you the Bills trivia of the week. Currently, Stephon Diggs sits with 10 receiving touchdowns on the year, matching his total from last year. He's one shy of tying the Bills' season record for receiving touchdowns in a season at 11. Who would that guy be? Feel free to answer on our Twitter page at BillsOrBustPod. One rule, no Googling, going on the honor system here, and I think you guys are a good bunch, so I'm trusting you. We will share the answer next week, and based on how many correct answers we get to this question, we'll decide if we need to go a little easier or harder on the next questions. Believe me, I have a grab bag of Bills trivia, so I won't be at a loss either way. And that concludes this episode of Bills or Bust. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I wish you all a very happy holidays, and we look forward to seeing you next week here on Bills or Bust. Let's go, Buffalo! Thanks again for listening to Buffalo Bills or Bust. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. And let's go, Buffalo! Buffalo Bills or Bust has been a Samurai Dinosaur production. Copyright 2023.